Good evening and welcome back to the GT Cup Round 7, brought to you by the Right House Drivers Club. The last driver's just been strapped in now, and then we're going to head round to the grid to get the race started.
Number 9, Oliver Jones. Got to make right down, insert start, please.
As there is an announcement going out from race control for Oliver Jones to hurry up a bit and get down to the track, get yourself strapped in so we can get underway. Either that or come and tell us that you're not taking part. So, drivers now being issued their grid positions based on their fastest qualifying lap. And away we go, round to the grid. So I managed to hear, just before he pulled away, that number 12, Roman, is going to be starting in 9th. 9th out of 11 is pretty good going. As there we have number 9. Oliver Jones just running out to his kart there. And somebody needs to tell the rest of these drivers where their grid positions are. This is just going to take more time. We need another person on the bricks, really, to release the drivers. And there we go, we've got one. And it's quickly resolved and away we go. So Kamari Williams still opting for the dark visor, as is Josh Agenbar. And number 4, Luke Weaver. The sun is quite low, and when it does break through the cloud it's very, very bright. Especially with the glare off of the road, it's not going to be easy. Kamari has spun at the S's, showing you how difficult it is, and now that the temperature's gone out the tyres, it's going to be even worse. Oh, and there you go, showing how slippery it is. Just the simple act of trying to get some heat into the tyres could be a disaster, but it's better to try and get that out of the way, get all the spinning out your system on the way to the grid, and then have a nice clean race. But I think we can expect an eventful race, to say the least. It has now stopped raining in the last few seconds, but I think they're at the level of water on the track now that there will be a dry line within maybe 10 laps. However, if it starts raining again, then we may have an issue. As the final driver to position himself with the Senna crash helmet, Jack James, just stopping a bit short of the grid just to get his clutch a bit warmer. A wise move. And it looks as though there's been a bit of a mix-up on the grid. Marshall's just double checking grid positions with race control to ensure everyone's in the right place before we get going. Marshall on the grid, waiting for confirmation of who is in what position. Looks as though that is Josh Agenbar on pole. Max Mottram being pushed back into 3rd, which must mean that Jack James is 2nd, judging on what I can see from here. I don't have an official time sheet for qualifying. Well, actually, maybe not. Josh Agenbar now being moved into grid slot number 2, and Jack James moving into pole position. So hopefully that will be that resolved now, and we can get the race underway any second now, as he's just reversed back into the correct grid slot. The marshal will get clear of the track, and then the red lights will come on. So all eyes on the gantry Waiting for those red lights, and there they are. The revs come up and away we go for the green lights. So as drivers heading to pylon stadium even for the first time, a lot of bumping and barging in the middle of the pack. Jack James driving away already, and there's a spin. Oh, and he's managed, oh, it's a big hit going backwards, but he's managed to recover it. As they come into hairpin one for the first time, all having to stick to that wet line, trying to find the grip. Two drivers that were caught up. Another has spun coming out of Elba. I think that's Jovan Homer. And Jack James leading the way now. Number 2, Josh Agambar. Hot on his heels. Oh, and Jack James, he's a very, very wide line through pylon 1, trying to find the grip, very much on the, nearly on the gravel. So they just hunt out where the grip actually is. I think they've all got the hang of it. Oh, and a big slide in the middle of the pack. These opening laps are going to be crucial because the length that this race will be is very much in the middle between a sprint and an endurance of, if you make one mistake, you may get away with it. If you make more than one, then that might be a race over. Jack James still leading, Josh Agambar still behind him. Number 1, Max Mottram, running a bit wide out of hairpin 1, and that's going to open the door for number 4. And he gets through. That's an excellent move, a bit of door banging, but in these conditions, he's probably going to go away with that a little bit. So number 4, that is Luke Weaver having an oh, and lots of spinning. 2 carts spun for definite, maybe 3. I can't quite see because of the race truck that is parked in the way. So Luke Weaver moves into 3rd. That's going to massively help his championship if he can maintain that pace. Jovan Homer struggling slightly in the number 11. So Jack James, hairpin 1 now, using that wide line, trying to find the grip. CER's Josh Agambar just behind him. And now 3rd place for number 4 of Ollie Weaver. Not Ollie Weaver, sorry. Luke Weaver. Like I said, it has stopped raining. The rain will be possibly be coming back. Although we very much hope not. We want this track to dry out as soon as possible so we can get some proper racing going as the drivers stopped on the bricks. And that looks as though it's the number 6 of Jake Wright. Jovan Homer going around. Oh, I'm very wide. Can't quite see who that is from here. Pylon 2 just clouting the wall on the outside. Driver looks fine. Cart will be fine, I can guarantee it. Oh, and Max Mottram just gets cut off slightly. He's now slipped into 5th place. She'll be slightly disappointed. Oh, and as I say that, he gets back up into 4th. I couldn't quite see who the driver was that was ahead of him, but he ran very wide coming out of pylon 1 onto the stones. Lost traction. Max was able to nip up the inside. The warning goes out to cart number 12. Contact warning, by the looks of it. Number 12, that is Roman Wong. As in the next few laps, number 11, Jovan Homer, is going to be lapped, I would have thought, if he maintains pace. So we see the race leaders there heading into pylon 1. Jack James now opening up quite a demanding lead as the driver just spins out in front of the picture there. Trying maybe a little bit too hard, too early. But it's going to be a waiting game as to when you can really get back on the power, especially through the hairpins. A touch of finesse is what is going to be required from a lot of the drivers, which is sometimes very different to how you drive these corporate karts, even the champ karts. Oh, and now Agenbar, Jovan Homer is very much holding up the race leaders, and this could be interesting. Can Josh Agenbar make a move on Jack James? Oh, and Jack James gets past the back marker. How quickly can Agenbar do it? Does the undercut, surely that's going to give him the run down the straight, and I think it is going to, yes. But that's now a much larger lead than it was. There's lights are coming on, floodlights are being put on around the circuit. So I would say we are clearly expecting some more rain, and it's not going to clear up anytime soon. So we are, I would estimate, at about 10 minutes into this race, so roughly a quarter of the way through. And Jack James is still leading from Josh Agenbar. Luke Weaver is still third, with Max Mottram closing in on him now in fourth. And we will soon see what Max Mottram can really do. Can he get past Luke Weaver, who is clearly excelling in these very difficult conditions? Can he get past him to claim that final podium position? Kart 12 has been told to come in. He's been given the metaphorical black flag. He's been asked by the marshals to come and see then for a time penalty. I haven't seen what for, or even whether it's a driving infringement or a mechanical failure, but I wouldn't have thought, I haven't seen any mechanical failures, so I would assume it's a driving standards penalty which will be going out. And I don't know, it's now disappeared off the digiboard, so I would assume that he has just gone on the gantry and seen his come in. And indeed he is in hairpin 1 now, so should be stopping on the bricks as he comes through. And indeed he does, and Senior Marshal going out to him to issue his penalty. See, no one likes giving out the penalties, as little as drivers like receiving them. But, oh, and a spin. I'm not sure, I didn't see who that was. It's cost them a position. It's the number 11 of Jovan Homer, taking it very easy. And the number 12 of Roman Wongstoot gets back underway after his penalty. I'm not sure, as I said, I didn't see what that penalty was for. All I can say is he's been issued a penalty, he's duly taken it, and he can carry on as he was. As the race leaders now, it looks as though Josh Agambar, in fact he has, Josh Agambar's managed to pass Jack James. And I've completely missed it. I've been caught up on back markers and I've missed the change for the lead. Josh Agambar now caught up with traffic though, and they are very, very close. Oh, and he just got squeezed out, couldn't quite get the undercut done there. Jack James is going to be right in his slipstream. We can see the gap closing now as he can't quite get past. Oh, and Josh, can he be braver around the outside? Not quite. Drivers all knowing where they need to go. And they approach more back markers. And Agambar now having a look. Oh, it doesn't quite, gets chopped, can't get past. Jack James has a look up the inside, a little bit of contact, not enough to cause either of driver an issue. That'll go down as a racing incident in these very tricky wet conditions. And he does, just takes it nice and wide. Oh, and Jack James. Oh, and Jack James makes contact with the back marker, and that's caused chaos. They've all managed to clear each other up, but there was 4 carts involved in that. And now third place, which is Luke Weaver in the orange crash helmet. Oh, I managed to get up the inside of that back marker, so now the next card ahead of him at the moment is second place, Jack James. Well, actually, I think the number 1 there, Max Mottram, has managed to get into second place. How's he done that? Maybe just didn't get caught up in that accident. In which case, Jack James, in the matter of laps, has gone from first to third. And we've got a kart stopping by the looks of it. I'm not sure quite what he's doing there, but he's right in the way of the race leader, Josh Agambar. I don't know if it was an ABC and he knew he'd done it, so he was just giving the place back. Oh, and he spins. Right onto the racing line. He's going to have to wait for a clear gap. Oh, that's painful. I don't think there was any contact. If there was, it was very minor. I think it was more a bit of a heavy right foot getting the wheel spin, excuse me. So as Agambar leads, Max Mottram second, Jack James third. And fourth place, still Luke Weaver, has dropped back a bit now. The Jack James and Max Mottram. Max Mottram in the number 1, Jack James in the centre crash helmet behind him in the number 3. Very close, trying to navigate the back markers while racing for position. Not easy, but you've got to make sure you don't cause an accident with a back marker and ruin your chances as well. It's very, very tricky in these conditions, but I think slowly but surely there is a slightly drier line forming. We are nearly 20 minutes into the race. All the floodlights are now on. We've got a yellow flag onto the back straight, which is now clear. Oh, on contact, Luke Weaver, I heard he made contact, I didn't see how much. As we're looking at the battle for third, with a back marker involved as well. I have to say that number 3 car been driven excellently by Jack James. His entry onto the straights has been superb. Oh, and now they don't want to trip over each other. Jack James going around the outside, trying to find the grip, and I think it may have worked, but Max Mottram on the defensive has taken plenty of curb and has found some grip as well. And they get past the back markers, and ABC has been given to cart number 4. Now that is